Ahoy, my hatchlings, and welcome to another episode of Autocraft. And today we are starting on the ship. Also, I'm finally in window borderless mode, so it actually records the whole screen instead of having that little black bar at the bottom. I'm not sure if you can tell, but I can. It makes the screen look just a little bit bigger. But today we are going to be starting on this level. But before I can put a floor down, I need to fill the space here. And this space is going to be home to our new super smelter. Because, well, I need to put the quartz villagers in here yet. I haven't actually done that. But once we have the quartz villagers in here, I'm going to be using a lot of smooth quartz throughout this entire build. So we really need to smelt it. Now, I was going to go ahead and put in a super fancy, super fast super smelter that was going to just make... It was just going to be brilliant. But I can't do that. So, what we're going to do instead is we're going to make a super lag friendly farm. That means we need to be able to power all the hoppers on and off to lock them to reduce their lag, and what hoppers we can, we need to go ahead and have them be able to put composters on top of them. This is going to be quite an interesting challenge in order to make this all work. Now, we are really limited on how big we can actually make the super smelter, because of course it has to fit in here. Now, when I had my idea for that super efficient one, we'd be able to fit so much in here, but now it's just basically going to be two long lines going back and forth. So, we're sort of limited on how large we can actually make this thing. But with that, my hatchlings, let's jump into our testing world and go ahead and design ourselves our own super smelter. Okay, so this is what I have so far for the idea. Basically, we have our standard super smelter arrangement, which is, these three hoppers, the furnace, and the ice with the glass. So that's all standard. Now, what's new here is we have these things which will lock these hoppers. We have this line here which runs into these target blocks, which is just a great way to power a whole line of things in a row without having to have things on top. Now I can turn these off, which will then prevent these things, or greatly reduce the amount of lag that these things create. And then I have over here something which will allow me to pull out these rails. Now, the nice thing about using something like glass is I can power this top area, but not power this bottom area. Or really, the power only flows up, it doesn't flow down. So with that, I can create an extender by putting a repeater here, and it won't form an infinite loop, because the power will go up, but it won't be able to go back down this block. Now, the thing is that once this thing retracts, so that'll pull it off, and now I need to extend these pistons. Now, the problem is I need to extend and retract these things at opposite times, which is a little bit difficult. There we go. Yeah, that actually works. That's so much a simpler solution. And what I should be able to do, now I only have to do this on some of them, is I just replace... No, that'll break it. I can't replace the middle block with a slime block or everything won't slide. So here's what I'm thinking. Now we need to extend this out every so often. Let me grab a redstone torch. So when this thing's in the extended position, now it's working. Now the nice thing is this here, our water stream, there are full blocks we can use and stuff will still get by. So let's just grab ourselves, let me grab the pretty stone slab. Now if we put this guy right here, now the real question is, will power transmit through here? And I'm actually not certain. Heck, it doesn't. Okay. Well, in that case, our option B might just be that. That does keep these rails powered like they're supposed to be. And these guys down here shouldn't be getting powered. Oh, hold on, maybe they are getting powered. Heck, that doesn't work either. Okay, but actually this can still work. It's just that every so often one of these blocks has to be a solid block and not a composter. So it's not super perfectly no lag, but I think it's gonna be as good as I can get it. Okay, so now we have the main design of the super smelter in place. So this one is 96 furnaces, which is 48 furnaces long, and then there are two sides of it, which, is a decent sized super smelter. Next thing we need to work on is the collection system, and then we need to actually figure out how this thing turns on and off, and then actually connect it. And actually, there isn't that much more steps left to go before this thing is ready to, well, for us to build it in the real world. Good news! I finished the design for the super smelter, and I think I've made it really nice, and I think it's as lag friendly as I can possibly make this thing. Bad news! I made it too long. I I, I thought that I forgot that I have 72 villagers and it's not 72 long. So this thing is just ever so slightly too big to fit in here. So we're just gonna lop the last 6 off here. So it'll be an 84 furnace super smelter rather than a 96 furnace super smelter. But that's still quite okay. But we at least have this area now saved as a schematic in here. And, well, we need to go ahead and start gathering all the resources for it. We're going to need quite a bit for this thing. Several hours later, and we now finally have all the materials we will need for this. And, you know, this, I've probably over-prepared, but we should have everything we need in order to build this thing. Now, all we're just going to do here about this bit is we're just not going to build it all the way out here. So we're going to stop at this honey block here, and it'll curve around, and that should fit perfectly inside this area. But with that, I don't think there's anything else to do but enter hyperspeed build mode. Let's go! And end of hyperspeed build mode. And look! Oops, wait, where's it? There we go. I got really lost for a second there. Look at this! Look, we have a super smelter now! Oh, isn't it beautiful? Now, this thing isn't quite done. I mean, the super smelter itself is done. It would be ready to go if I had fuel. Unfortunately, I do not have any fuel. So we're gonna have to take care of that in our next episode. But how... I wanted to fly around this side because this is the start of our next deck, which is exciting. This is going to be the purple deck, the best deck because it's my favorite color. Now, I couldn't figure out a nice way that I could have this stay in line and still have this nice purple here. Because it didn't look right if I... Oh dear, I fell off. But it didn't look quite right if I had quartz here. It just looked wrong. So I've come up with a new party piece. And that's this. So this activates the farm, or this activates this. Oh crap. Okay. I just broke it. I wasn't expecting that. Let me grab some new redstone dust here. So, oh no. Oh jeez. Oh! Oh jeez! Okay! Okay! But what this does is this makes... this turns on the super smelter so it's actually activated and it's not in its locked position. But what it also does, in addition to making this thing look nicer... I'm not gonna make that, am I? Nope. But in addition to making this thing look nicer, means that I can't put anything in here unless this thing is on. Which is good, which means there isn't any way that I should accidentally break this thing. This chest here will be for the eventual filling up of our storage system, and I think I'm gonna have the items from here, once they come out, just drop down onto the ground in front of this lever or something. I'm thinking that's what we'll do there. but I'm really happy with how this area has turned out. That last bit there was a little bit spooky. But with that, my hatchlings, I've been Splashes. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye! No, 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 don't hit that! Bye-bye!